Evening. Good evening, everyone. Dr. Freedom here. We had time some Doctor News from in and around the universe that may not affect you on a strange, weird, biological, chemical, and you know the story level that could just strike your brain into oblivion with complete and full universal consciousness. Now, the usual, stuff going around, of course. My favorite ones, once again, people attacking, like the timeless children and all that little snide remarks on Twitter. And it's like, they're completely disrespecting Hartnell. Then what do you have to say to Hinchcliffe, Holmes, and all them, who came up with the brain of Morbius, in which they showed previous incarnations of the Doctor before Hartnell, all the way back, I think it was in 1976. You see what I mean? It makes no sense. It just shows to me, how they're looking for any and, little, snidbit to attack the current era of Doctor Who, while professing, to know that they're the great, know-it-alls of classic Who. And it's like, I keep telling them, it's like, the Doctor will always going to be male. No, he wasn't. Back in 86, Sidney Newman, the guy who created the show, said that he was possibly wanted a female doctor to replace Colin Baker. So right there, the creator of the show was even open to that idea over, oh goodness, how many years ago? 34 years ago? See, it doesn't make any sense. Their arguments, they're going on and on and on. Now, while I agree with people who have constructive criticism, there are things they didn't like. But if you just sit there and go, every single episode sucked and was below par, then that kind of tells me that you're not really watching to enjoy yourself, at least not openly. And it's just the usual things. I try to keep an even keel here. I as long as you're not attacking anybody else, I don't care what you think. I don't care if you like Jodie Whittaker. I don't care if you hate Jodie Whittaker. Just don't go nuts and start throwing insults around and things like that, and we'll get along just fine. But at least present me an intelligent argument. Ugh. But okay, let's get to the news, shall we? Now, I have not had a chance to view this program called Who Do You Think You Are as yet. Somebody sooner or later will put out a synopsis or something for it, and I'll sit down and get a chance to read it. Or maybe someone will pop it out, on streaming somewhere in the near future, and I'll get a chance to watch it. But I heard it was a fun program. Like I said, I have not seen the Jodie Whittaker one yet. But, I'm in no hurry. Okay, but let's get to the stuff you're here to see. Let's get to the news, shall we? This is the cover for Doctor Who Magazine number 557, which will be out on the 15th. An exclusive preview of the new YouTube series Daleks, featuring interviews with the cast and crew, plus Monstrous Beauty Part 2, Doctor Who's 50 Scariest Moments, Ray Holman's Guide to his series 12 Creature Designs, and much, much more. Nice looking cover there. But the thing is, I never liked the way they do the Emperor Daleks back, where they give them because they look like a roll-on deodorant. Is it just me? Same thing when they did Davros and the Emperor thing. I was like, check it out. What's he going to do? He looks like King Kong's roll-on. Here we go. Okay, Doctor Who Festive Special. Companions face the Dalek threat without the Doctor. Now, that appeared at the top. This is one of the images that we got, I believe, with the New York Comic Con thing. But the problem I had with it is, a lot of people's like, well, most of all the panels that they have are pre-recorded. I go, but yeah, they were making such a big deal out of this one. And then to find out it was pre-recorded possibly a week or more before the event. And now a lot of people have been jumping up and down going, well, they said during this Comic-Con thing that they were in prep for filming and blah, blah, and they were getting ready too soon and yada. I go, that was recorded a week or more before. Which means chances are the person who saw that filming going on in Cardiff the other night actually saw it. It's a possibility. I've looked into the account. The account was not taken down. They locked their Twitter account, which you can do if you know what you're doing. And it's basically because the person was getting inundated with messages, oh, blah, 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 or getting attack messages as well, from what I heard. So they said, look, screw this. They took their toys and they went home. And I don't blame them one bit, especially with, the toxicity of some of the fandoms that, some of the fans that are out there. I mean, not the fandoms, duh. Their location pins them in the city of Cardiff, Wales. Now, a lot of people will go, well, Cardiff's in lockdown right now. I go, yeah, but the filming industry was given COVID guidelines they can use to film. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility that, yes, they've started filming. Now, people have been going, ha, 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 you funny Americans. Trust me, us funny Americans, some of us know what we're talking about. Scary thought, isn't it? Now, in this featured photo above, Jodie Whittaker confirmed that it depicts the Doctor in prison, quote unquote, for a while. Quote, where we leave the Doctor in the final episode of season 12. This explores, in a way, one of the first times when the Doctor is away from the gang and, from the Doctor's point of view, has no idea what's going on Earth. Panel moderator Melanie McFarlane added the Doctor has a life sentence in a maximum security prison. McFarlane asked Jodie Whittaker what that means for a character with that many reincarnations. She said, quote, we may discover that, or maybe we won't. Now, Mandip Gill explained the second of the two photos being released, which shows the Doctor's companions Graham, Reyes, and Ryan sitting there at the table. Now, the companions have learned a lot from the Doctor and now must attempt to face an alien threat without her, quote. So basically, we don't know where the Doctor's gone. We don't know if we're now in Sheffield forever and our journey with the Doctor is over. So I can speak for Yaz. She's finding it very difficult, probably not being able to say goodbye as well, and not sure if when she's likely to see the Doctor and if she was just thrown back into normal life without having a say. And so she's struggling with the idea of not being on the TARDIS anymore, but the picture that you see is Ryan, Graham, and Yaz are sat around the table trying to figure out, basically, they've come across a plot that involves a Dalek, and we obviously know that's blah, blah, blah. And it goes ahead and barely walks in from way, way, way back, by the way. And what you'll find happens next is extraordinary. Walsh continues. Serious to the viewers, the Whovians, and the lovers of the show, what happens next is extraordinary. It's fantastic. And it was right again, one of my favorite scenes to film. So, once again, we've been throwing this photo, but you folks, who know about the filming that went on the Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol the one night, that model of Dalek has been seen before. So, here we go. Okay, Revolution of the Daleks, clue left on the table. And this is some night, I'm going to leave this one for you to read because apparently it seems the Doctor's companion are interested in researching the very same weapons research company, according to one of the notes on the table, here enlarged and rotated 180 degrees for readability. MDZ must research. Now remember, this is the company, I believe, that was holding, all right, there we go, that was holding the Dalek's body, gun and all that back in Resolution. Interesting that they're looking into MDZ as well. Bradley Walsh promises an unbelievable series when Doctor Who returns. He said, we're certainly in prep, but like I said, remember, this call would have been pre-recorded well before that, possibly up to 2 weeks before it was even put out. We're certainly in prep. We're all hoping for us to be filming for the close of 2020, Whittaker said. And I think, remember, they've done this 100 times before, where they're going to throw you off so that way they can sneak out, start the filming, and, boom, before you know it, you've got camera crews running around out there. And I genuinely think somebody walked right into possibly a rehearsal scene or something like that, prelude to probably shooting a small scene, because there are guidelines for doing it. You see, I keep telling people, hell, it's not like it's unbelievable that they are out there filming. All right, moving forward. Prepare for Time Lord Victorious in this Blu-ray collection. Now, for you folks who have been flipping out over this and all that, please keep in mind, this is a gathering of classic Who tales. It's not all brand new material, such as Planet of the Daleks, that's Pertwee, Genesis of the Daleks, that's Tom Baker, Deadly Assassin, Tom Baker, State of Decay, Tom Baker, Curse of Fenric, Sylvester McCoy, Runaway Bride, of course, was being Tennant, and Catherine Tate, and Waters of Mars, of course, Tennant. So it's a mixture of the old and new, but once again, if you've already got these episodes, big hoopty ding dong shit. It's like, but still, there you go. First look at images. Here's some better resolution ones than what you're going to get over there in Coldbox, at least in my opinion. That's why I threw this in here. So if you want these images, you can just snag them from right here over here at Doctor Who News. They usually have the really good resolution ones. So, okay, A Tale of Two Time Lords. Oh, let's see, I almost tripped over my own tongue on that one. 13th Doctor meets the 10th in the latest paperback release from Titan Comics. A Tale of Two Time Lords is due for release later this month. The deluxe edition collects number 1 through 4 of the Eisner-nominated writer Jody Houser and artist Roberta Ingranato's return for year 2 of the critically acclaimed Doctor Who comics. Volume 1 ties into the fan-favorite Season 3 episode Blink, written by former showrunner Stephen Moffat. It does not rewrite the events in the actual episode. Oh, that was another one they were out there harping about. Oh, they've killed Doctor Who. They decided to tinker with a classic episode. It's a great episode, but not a classic. Okay, it's a memorable episode. It's a great episode, but that's how I keep things separate. There's New Who and there's Classic Who. And you say classic, I keep thinking it's, one of their first 7 Doctors. All right, so here's some, really cool images if you want to go check these out for yourself. A little preview of the first few pages. So if you want to go take a look and read there you go. Okay, Doctor Who's Short Trips Meaning of Red. This month's Short Trips audio release from Big Finish is being performed by Nicola Bryant, who, by the way, go wish her happy birthday. She just turned 60 yesterday. Available as a download only, Doctor Who's Short Trips Meaning of Red is a debut Big Finish audio adventure by writer Rod Brown. It's a story that explores friendship, survival, self-discovery. Nicola Bryant reprises her role as Perry, a companion to the Fifth Doctor, and this time showing how she takes matters into her own hands when the Time Lord is not present. And this, of course, is available to download from the Big Finish website for just £2.99. Okay, so once again, having a different opinion is no big deal. Admitting that you don't like something, okay, but having to admit that you don't like something every day for the last how many years now is just whining. That's what it breaks down to at this point. My favorite ones are the guys who are still running around there watching every single episode. They watch every single event that involves Jodie Whittaker. I even had a couple guys on my crew who didn't even like Jodie Whittaker, but they went to that little event before Series 11 where she was sitting there talking about all the films she attended. They took pictures with her, got autographs, all that stuff. Yet, they can't stand her in the role. Go figure. So, look, don't even bother engaging. If somebody starts, jumping up and down. Matter of fact, there's 2 people out there right now, and they know who they are, who've been running around deliberately throwing out false stories on Twitter and some other forms of social media so they can, quote-unquote, trigger the Jodie bots. Once again, apparently none of them have, with their massive, vast education, studied any great, philosophies, especially in regards to debating. The second you have to resort to attack the man, aka name-calling, that whole tactic alone, you've pretty much lost your argument. It shows you have no ground to stand on. You're just being a dick at that point. So, if you see these guys out there spreading what you know to be lies, don't talk to them. Mute, block, ignore, walk away. So I keep telling people that's the best thing you can do in the world. Cut the negative people out of your life. Because trust me, you will feel so much better after you have. Take care. Wear your mask. Be very careful out there. COVID is still around. And be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Like I said, I don't do this for money, folks. If I really wanted to, I could have been promoting every video going back 8 years. And I could probably be sitting on like 50,000 subscribers right now if I really wanted to be. I do this to inform the public. I do this as a hobby. I do this for fun. And as Tegan said, if it stops being fun, don't do it anymore. And I'm not going to let people take this away from me. So have a good one. Good night.